All right, good morning, traders, or good morning-ish, I guess I should say. Something like that. Running a little bit late today, but hey. There's always, usually some plays, no matter what time of day it is. What the? There we go. Fly, okay. Now there's some crazy lines on my stuff, but don't worry about that. Whoops. XPIO is starting to run a little bit. I'm gonna hop in here. CXPO at 421, not too bad. We got a 5-cent spread. If it can break 425, it could get going. Yeah, bid stacking at 425, very nice. All right, what else we got? AHPI making a nice move today. Big rip up to 1610. XPIO with a little pullback. See, it did just go from 369 to 430, so that was a pretty decent sized move, but definitely looks like it's got some room. Good morning, Donnell. I missed the big flush on the NASDAQ. See what we got going on here. Come on. Hey Josie, do you know anything about these these lines I'm using are GAN everybody? Josie is the one who brought these lines to my attention. But they're the GAN, let's see, what is it? The major GAN levels. It's the only GAN thing I could find on Thinkorswim. You know anything about those? Because they seem to hold up as really good support and resistance. What is going on? Why is my... Really, it's not even doing it. What is going on here? There we go. There we go. There's a gain fan on there? Okay, I didn't see it. I'll have to look a little bit further. But these major GAN levels, they seem to be really good for support and resistance. Very accurate. So I'm still researching into WD GAN. He's a trader from the 1900s who uses the law of vibration to figure out his trading strategy. Nope, that's a little bit loud. So I'm going to drop my stop loss right at 393. Whoops, that's not how many stops I got. I'm not making that mistake anymore. By God. Selling the wrong shares. Wrong share sizes. There we go. Yeah, I trade the NASDAQ. That's pretty much, you know, there's always money in the markets, though. You know, it's not a big deal. I didn't want to miss this morning's live stream. I was ready to go, but I had some stuff come up. Why does it keep doing that? That is really annoying. There we go. XBIO pushing back up. Very nice. Hey, the good thing is you spotted them. You know, you might not have traded them, you might have missed that money, but you spotted them. So that's good. That means you're learning. It's not about today, it's about the long term. You want to be consistently profitable over a long amount of time. So don't worry about one day, but be proud, be aware, you know, that you spotted some good runs even though you didn't trade them. That's still a productive trading day. Uh-oh. See, FLUC, this one's been running, but I don't want to get into it until I can actually find a spot to enter. MDIA, that just popped. HPI still might be a possible play. Just looking through these real quick. DYNT could be a possible play. BIO still hanging out in that little. Take Roblox off my damn thing. And element now. Get out of here. What's BTBT doing today? BTBT's sitting right on top of that GAN level. Interesting. Oh, let me pull up TradingView so I can keep an eye on the cryptos, even though I've noticed the cryptos are pretty hot today. And Bitcoin is testing that 45K, so maybe a pullback on Bitcoin soon. Good morning, Jim. Yeah, Sicilian. Yeah, it's good that you're spotting them. That's the main thing. The nervousness is basically fearing the unknown. We only fear the unknown. Dark closet, haunted house, it's dark. What's behind the door? There's a clown in the gutter sewer. Like, we only fear what we don't know. Anything we know, we don't fear it because we understand it. So you have that fear still because you're new and you're not sure yet. Your confidence is not built up yet to where you can just hop in a trade and trust your instincts and your trading plan. And that's okay because you are new. It's going to take a little bit of time. But You got to learn the unknown. Whatever it is you're afraid of, you got to learn what that is, and then you'll be good to go. But you use tight stop losses, that can help alleviate a lot of the fear. Or trailing stop losses. Trailing stop losses can help with that too. Damn it. There is a setting that will keep your damn chart still to where it won't move all the way around when you switch around. Does anybody know right off the top of their head what that is? Scale. Okay, let's see that. Let's see what that do. Alright, well, that's a little better. It might have fixed it. God, look at all these lines down here. Get rid of all these lines I drew. In the past. See GWHP, don't like that. Works, that thing has been ridiculous. I'm going to take works off because even though I did make a little bit on it yesterday, I did not like the feel. Annie just dumping. Could be a bounce off there tomorrow on Annie of that $4 area. And there on Carve. HPI starting to curl up. Let's see here. What do we got? 12.25. DIA popping up again on the scanner. Trying to break 10 now. I'm trading with a cash account. Let's see, IMV, I'll throw it on the list. And then TCOM, we'll look at it. Although I don't like hearing that it hit a bottom. This isn't anything I would day trade, but it is lower than it was in the past. How many shares is it? Yeah, it's a big float. I don't like a big float. IMV, yeah, IMV. It's below all indicators, so it's below the 200. Probably not going to run all day. Top line results. Survival rate was 44%. That's not great. I don't know what the thing you're surviving from is, but the rate of survival is not very good. You got less than a quarter flip You slip and flip the coin the wrong way, you're dead. Their medicine ain't helping you. Daniel B, what in the bloody hell are you talking about? Come in here starting your shit already. You got some blueberry muffins to make? I think I'm going to add to XBIO. It's moving slow, but yeah, I'm going to add 50 more shares. Bring my average down to 418. Yeah. Getting held up right here in this level, but it's holding above that $4 support line. So it just needs a little bit more buying volume and it could start pushing again. Good morning, Lightning Rick. Jesus. Well, One Life and Daniel B are in the chat. Well, you can making their classy entrances. One Life. That's especially. Oh no, no! You are not getting me. You almost got me. Almost got me. There we go. Well, I gotta make sure I got the right amount. I'm not doing that again. I'm not taking unnecessary losses because I put the wrong share size in. Hate that. Such a dumb mistake to make. I've done it like 3 times in the past 3 weeks. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back on track tomorrow. We should be. I had some unexpected stuff come up this morning. You know, sometimes that happens, but we'll get back on track. I promise. Majority of the days we should be on track. Should be ready to start 30 minutes before market open. Yesterday, Hal had some stuff early in the morning, so he didn't start till like 8:30 Central, and then I didn't start till 8:30 Central. But we'll get back on track. It's been a little bit of a crazy couple of weeks for me because I edit and do everything for the channel, like all the editing, the thumbnails, all that. So there's a lot of work involved. And I had a video editor, and then he disappeared into thin air. So I've had to pick up that slack, and then last week I was almost caught up because I got a new video editor, but he had to go on a trip for 4 days, so that could have put me behind a little bit. But we should be getting even back out and should be able to go consistently without any problems for a little while, as long as nothing unforeseen comes up. But yeah, I want to be here at 8 in the morning, 30 minutes before market. I don't want to be trading this late. But we must do what we must do. So there's always time to learn something, and there's always time to make money. XBIO just slowly building up here. CHPSC, C80X. See, this is the swing I was holding. And it did get a little pop up. but I'm going to hold it for now for a little bit. See, XBIO's trying to get up to that 425. Oh, FULC might try to go again here. Good to know, Sicilian. Well, hit me up. Hit me up on IG or something, or at my email. We'll discuss that more. I'm going to hop in 10 shares on this. This is a little bit of a dangerous play because it's so high up, but it looks like it's going to try to at least push to 20. So if I can pop a little scalp up to 20, just a little quick something to make me feel good. A little mental win. It's getting held up in the 1850. See, XBIO is getting over 425. Trying to hold up there. XBIO starting to push 330, 430. Keep slowly doing your thing. So getting hung up a little bit at 430 there. FULC trying to push up. We're about to close on this candle. Yeah, it's about to rip again. Maybe. It just got held up at 1880 again. This is up 122%, so it's going to be hard for it to break out anymore. It's ran a lot, but just needed to test. There we go. XBIO starting to pull over 430. So 430 is some big pullback there. So 430 is some resistance. Come on. Seriously? There we go. MDIA looks like it may be. So XBIO getting rejected hard there. At 430. Why 430? Oh, just a second. See. XBIO might get stopped out and not being able to break. That 430 area. Coming back down, testing that $4 area support to see that hold up, but it may not. Oh, FULC just popped a 1947 out of nowhere, so that's a new high. Line, there's a candle. Now, more than likely, this is probably going to get rejected if it touches 20. At least this first time. See, he's having a lot of trouble just getting up there. Yeah, XBI really testing there. I may get stopped out. This may end up being a loss on that. IMV's trying to hold. We'll pull back there on FULC. BT still selling off. Bunch of the guys that were running are not running. FLGC. Euro. I don't even have SOS on here. I don't care about SOS. Bitfarm still staying up a little bit. Oh, here we go. We might see a push come out of this. XBIO is holding 4. Yeah. For some reason this week, the crypto stocks are not moving with cryptos at the moment, but they did have a pretty big pullback. Now, I did see that the bill that they were trying to stick in that was going to screw every crypto trader over got shot dead in the Senate. So that's good news for cryptocurrency traders because they were going to tax the balls off of us all. Like they were going to make it to where it wasn't going to be even worth it to try to trade them. And basically just buy them and hold them like a damn ETF. Well, you can trade ETFs, but most people just buy and hold them. Ooh, pull back there. HPI, we got a little downtrend that needs to break. Comes back down to 12. I may look for an entry there. FULC cannot hold above 1850 here. It's going to have a pullback. They're trying to pump this HPI. Oh, yeah, I just got stopped out there. $28 loss on XBIO. Not able to break out. Got rejected right at that. Well, actually, I broke over that. Just not able to break 430. So definitely going to pull back now. Could be done for the day, probably. Alright. Well, I gave that a shot. One of these, FULC or MDIA1, is about to try to push. Let's see, what is their positive interim data? And looks like they had earnings too on top of it. I don't know, that 20 is going to be really tough. The fact that it couldn't even push up the 20 is a little sketchy. So I need to see this. Let's get that out of here. Get out of here. So we did have a little dip in the QQQ. See the composite, NASDAQ composite sitting on that 10-day. Interesting. Very interesting here on HPI. ORPH. This just started popping, random pop out of nowhere. 505 below all indicators, but does have room up to the 50-day at 614. No news. Don't want to touch it yet. HPI, if it starts breaking back over 13. I'll grab 10 more HPI here. It's got a lot of support under it. So a little indecision candle there, followed by a little green candle. If I can push back over 13, it'd be good to go. If it drops any lower than that, though, I'm just trying to decide what. RPH back down to 5. I'm looking for FULC to fail. See, ORPH still holding up so far. Taco Tuesday. Big buyers coming in. I'm going to jump in here 50 shares real quick, see if it starts running again. What am I in at? 512, yeah. Just trying to get a quick little scalp off of this momentum. Since it did hold up after that first pop, didn't even dump or anything. Held above $5. Let's see if we start popping here. You break 520. Don't like it's getting held up. There we go. Oh, no, still getting held up. What are you doing here? FULC still looking all right. Get the whole above 5 on this. What else to float on this? It's not that even that little float, about 34 million in shares. Buyers still trying to come in there. Now, there isn't any news or anything, so this is really a pump and dump because there wasn't any volume or anything. But I'm looking to see if this pump and dump is going to continue or not. That's why I hopped in here. Staying right around my entry at the moment. I'm in at 512, so that's not terrible. HPI creeping back up to 13. Now up at 515 a little bit. See if I can break through. There we go. Very nice. Starting to try to push back green again. I did break my rule on this one though. It is below all EMAs, so I may pay the cost for breaking my rule. We got a minute and a half on this candle. Close over 5. If it doesn't, it's going to drop. You need to see buying come in this very, very quickly, because if not, this will kill this momentum off and they'll just dump it. They're looking to bait people in, but they've got to come in first. A lot of indecision here. Boom, there it goes, starting to push. Room to like 6. If this can push to 6, that would be very nice. Very nice. Still pushing. FLUC trying to break 19 now. Still pushing. Here on ORPH. Can you get to 550? Looking good for another push up as long as buying volume keeps coming in. Yeah, there we go. Let's get over 540. Can't see it. Where did it go? We got a lot of resistance here at 540. Break of 540 though. This could run some more. FLUC, so this is just making a triangle of consolidation here. Right below 20, looking for it to pop. How do you use the volume right away? What do you mean by like right away? Are you just asking generally how do you use volume, or Is there a specific timing of the question you're asking? There we go, pushing through 540. The right way? Well, it goes back to when I say it's supply and demand. So all volume is just the amount of shares traded within a time period. So you're using it basically as almost like a ledger to keep up with the volume, to keep up with the supply and demand. So we're seeing big buying volume bars coming in here. These are all over a million. Just randomly a million coming in here could get some people's attention, and it popped up on my scanner, so I figured it's going to pop up on other people's scanners as well. So seeing the volume increasing and being green, that means there's more buying than selling. And if we keep seeing it, like this has a nice up push of buying volume. So if that can continue, then that means we'll have more buying than selling, so we'll continue to push up the price. So I mean, you're just looking at volume as how much action is the stock getting within a time frame. So those 5-minute candles, how much shares were traded in this 5-minute candle? There was 2.20 million. So that's a lot of shares, right? So that's what you want to see. You want to see the heavier volume, and it was green, so there was more buying than selling. No, there's not necessarily an equal amount of sellers because everybody will buy different position sizes and whatnot. So with the buying volume, you want to be looking. Hold on, let me think of a way to explain this. A clear way. Give me just a sec because I'm getting distracted by ORPH. I don't want to confuse you. FULC up to 932. So there is always a transaction on the other side because you're right. It is a transaction. So there is somebody buying, but there's somebody selling on both sides. But when you have a lot more people buying at the price range, like for instance, ORPH right now is at 5.25. It's getting held up there because a lot of sellers are sitting there because 25 cents, we know is a resistance line. Plus, you could probably find the 5.25 on here. So the volume. So even though there's buyers coming in at 5.25, there's still sellers that have been coming in at 5.25 holding it up. And there's more sellers, there's more bigger orders for sellers than there is for buyers. So when an order goes in, if everybody who's a seller wants to sell at 4.25, all get matched up with a buyer, right? Well, they're all going to get taken out. So the price, if there's more demand of buying at 5.25 or 5.26, now the price to buy at is going to go up because you took out all those 4.25 sellers. So when they're taken out, now you're going to have 4.26, 4.27, even though your buyers are still at 4.25. So those transactions, they have to negotiate, meet in the middle, and as long as these sellers keep having to go higher and higher in price. And the reason why that happens is because buyers turn into sellers. You have shorters that come in, all of that. But the price will keep rising as long as your buying is more than you're selling. So it's at those key price levels. Like you said, you actually kind of say it. But yeah, Josie's making a good point too. There are brokers that hold a lot of extra shares for transactions. So you might not always be buying directly from somebody. You may be buying from a broker that's just sitting there holding them. So they are on the other side of the transaction, but they're not, doing really anything other than holding them. Then they hold them for shorts too. That's how you short, is because you borrow brokers or shares from the broker. But like, just because FULC testing 20 right now, AHPI over 13 again, very nice. Now if ORPH can just go on a nice run for me. But your buys and sells are not going to stay at the same place, and that's why you have fluctuations in price. So when the buyers outweigh the sellers, right, they're outweighing them, the sellers are going to have to keep moving up. If the sellers are outweighing the buyers, then the buyers got to keep moving down. And that's where support and resistance comes in at, because those are key price levels to where, okay, is the buyers going to take control again at a support level, or is the sellers going to remain in control and drop it? Or vice versa, at a resistance level, are buyers going to be able to overtake all those sellers at that key price of resistance, or are the sellers going to keep coming in and push the buyers down from being able to break that price range? But simply enough, you see, I don't think that's necessary information to really know for day trading, because you just want to see more green buying volume than you do red buying volume. Or selling volume, I'm sorry. So like you can get into it and get technical about all of that and how, where the market makers, the brokers holding the shares, all of that, but keep it simple and just think more green than red is always a good thing, right? Same thing on the time and sales. If you get a whole lot more green on the time and sales than red, I'm going to have to get out of this. It's about to dump. I didn't realize it dropped back down to 5 already. I do not like that little turn there. FULC up to 21. FLUC is going crazy. Just probably going to cut my loss here. Yeah, I'm going to cut my loss on this. I just don't like the way that looks. FULC still pushing. Only got 10 shares of it. Damn, I didn't get to add to it. That's okay. Let's see how much farther this can run. But yeah, like I was saying, time and sales, more green than red is usually going to be more buying than selling. So you're going to see the price push up. Same thing on the level 2. And you see that what I was talking about. Like right now, there's a couple of sellers trying to sit at 20.75. And as buyers come in and take out those sellers, well, the next sellers up are going to be up the ladder. They're going to be up at 20.90 or whatever, if the buyers outweigh the sellers. But right now, we've got a tug of war back and forth. But look at that nice pop out of that triangle there. Are we still in a super choppy market? Yeah, a little choppy. Delete that triangle there. Yeah, Lori, that's a good point too. Not all buys get through. Yeah, if nobody, well, not only that, if nobody's buying, your trade doesn't get through, but also a lot of people use limit orders, and you guys have seen many times where my limit orders get hit, but there's times where your limit orders may not get hit. So if there's a bunch of sellers at a resistance line and they're trying to put in limit orders and the buyers just blow right through that, you're going to get some bunch of sellers who get skipped and are going to have to come in a little bit higher. So I mean, there's a lot of detail you can get into talking about all that, but that's the question I always raise: is it really necessary when all you're really looking at is supply and demand on the basic level? But there's plenty of stuff out there on volume and buying and selling. If you want to learn more deeper into it, it's like I said, it's just one of those things where I just want to see more green than red. Keep it simple. I don't know if I want to keep holding this or not. If it can hold above 20, then it could continue to push. Yeah, 20 getting tested here. So like right now, we're seeing buyers try to come in on the level 2 at 20. And see, they got outweighed. There's still more sellers. Now we're getting a tug of war again. Buyers are trying to take out all the sellers at this 20 area, but having issues. So now we're pulling back because we couldn't break it. So it's going to try to come up and test it again. Well, it was testing as support, but that was the first time this has been over 20, so it cracked right back through it. Now this candle needs to push up. We need to see us push back over 20 here. If it doesn't, if it starts dropping again, this could be done. Hey, Bobby, appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate the awesome comment. Glad you're enjoying everything. Hopefully you're learning some stuff from from my mistakes as well as my successes. There's definitely a lot to learn from my mistakes, that's for sure. I save you guys tons of money just by watching me lose money and say, oh, don't do what he just did. There we go. So see, buyers are still pushing in here, trying to hold up 20. So right now, we've got about, the way I would think of it in my head, we've got like a mixed, like a half and half right now. Like I said, a tug of war of volume of buyers and sellers. So looking for a bigger chunk of buying volume to come in than selling at this point. Because right now it's just consolidation. Just consolidating right here, trying to figure out if $20 is going to hold as support or is $20 going to continue to be resistance. But always keep in mind, just because you look at a support or resistance areas, buyers will become sellers and sellers can become buyers, and also shorters can be buyers or sellers. So if a shorter is going to short, they're going to be selling. They're going to be a seller, and then when they have to cover the short, when they have to close out their position, they're going to be a buyer. So you want to see. So that's one thing you got to watch for, which H&H is pretty good at. I'm not as good at spotting it, but he's pretty good at spotting it to where it'll look like it's buying maybe on a bullish move, and this may be happening here, but this is actually. I know shorters wouldn't be covering yet on this. This is a bad example at the moment. But yeah, if there's shorters in here like at $20, well, they might have got squeezed out right there. See, that's the thing. This could have been shorters could have been coming in at 20, so they're selling. So you see that selling pressure coming down, and then they got to buy back in. So they could be buying at that adaptive, and that's why it's holding up at the moment. Or they could have got squeezed out there and had to cover, and that's what pushed this up. So buying volume may not always be the type of buying volume you want. Or selling volume may be more selling than you think it is. Like I said, H&H is better at. He could probably explain it better too. But I just don't. I'm not big into shorting, so. And again, is it necessary to know exactly? I mean, it will help with shorters, but or knowing what shorters are doing. It's a good thing to think about. But like mainly, I see shorters. Shorters are always going to come in at a resistance line after something is already ran. Like FULC is up 140%, so there's no doubt in my mind that there's shorters in this. But those shorters are sellers right now. They're building positions. So if you get a lot of buyers that outweigh the shorters and the sellers, then you can get some really big moves because those shorters have to buy back in. And they'll have their stop losses. Like if they're in here at 20 right now, they probably got their stop losses at like 2050, maybe 21. Hold on just a second, guys. All right, hopefully I didn't lose any money. It was a bit of an important call I had to take there. So FULC looks like it's going to pull back here. We got indecision followed by this red candle. See HPI back over 13. I like seeing that. It's got to hold up. It's got to hold up this line right there at the top of that triangle where it broke, but this is really starting to look bearish. See, if this candle can push up, then I'll stay in here. If this candle starts dropping anymore, yeah, I'm out. I'm getting out. Looks like it's going to dump. So a little $5 there. I missed that 21.75 pop. That's alright. Want to protect the capitals. So AHPI still slowly. It's not. It needs to break over 14 soon. Keeps getting rejected at the 14 level. Don't you get me on a dirty move. Alright, so I still have some funds left. I'm going to try to look for one more trade. Do have a decent little trend line on MDIA. Well, actually, no. I don't want to draw it as a trend line because it's crossing over right there to the downside. Let's see, what's Bitcoin at? Bitcoin dropping a little bit. Back below 45. Ethereum dropping too. Getting a few little drops in the crypto market. Let's see, Luna up to 15. In what order would you say a person learn how to trade? Example, risk management, price action. So, price action you definitely want to learn before you start learning about indicators and all that. If you can trade with a naked chart, then you can add indicators to your strategy. But if you don't understand price action, you're going to, those indicators really ain't going to help you that much. So I agree with Cool J, like all of the above. You do need to learn it all. But boy, that's a tough question. What would be the best thing to start with? So the first thing I would start with, and this is going to help you in your life besides just day trading. This is going to go across all investments, and it's also going to keep you from getting bent over and screwed by the government. So understanding the difference between, and this is such an important thing. I can't stress enough how important this is. Understanding the difference between currency and value. Because we use the word money as a blanket term, but that's like a word that you don't really want to put that in there. You want to like take money out, because it's not like a thing that you need to, like, that word will just confuse you. Look at that, FLUC. Are you kidding me? You're going to come back up to 20. But there's a difference between currency and actual value. And that is something that may take a little while to understand. But, I talk about it a lot. So, like, if I need to try to explain it better, and I do have a video coming out that's going to explain it some more. But basically, your U.S. dollars are not money. We call it money, but it's not money. It's just pieces of paper. It's a measuring stick of money. Value is money. Gold is money. Silver is money. Cryptos are money. Stocks are money if they are not going down. But your US dollar basically is a vessel for your value. It's like if your value called for a taxi to get from one place to another, well, the US dollar would be that taxi. And what most people do is they only try to focus on building their US dollars. But if your US dollars are decreasing in value, that's not what you want to be building. You want to be building your value if the US dollar is decreasing in the amount of value that it measures, then it's going to measure less value when you're transferring it, when it's hopping in that taxi. Because right now, the U.S. dollar, since I'm using taxi as a metaphor, the U.S. dollar basically is a three-wheel taxi with no heat, no air conditioning. The windows are stuck. The door is stuck. You got burn holes all in the chair and all over the place. The radio only plays one song. So by the time, just like if you were a person taking that taxi or an Uber, by the time you get to your destination, you're going to be beat down and wore out because of how bad that experience was. So you're losing value when you keep your money in U.S. dollars, unless the U.S. dollar is measuring more value. But with money printing and everything else, that is not going to be likely ever again. We've been on a 50-year downtrend. So here's a good example. There's this guy, I can't remember, but I saw him on the Rich Dad, Poor Dad radio show, which is Robert Kiyosaki. This guy, if you haven't read this book, this is a book you need to read. There's links in the description for it, but I don't care if you use my affiliate links or not, just read that damn book. But the guy did a composite. See, HPI is still pushing up here a little bit. He did an index composite that basically compared gold to the U.S. dollar. So in 1979-ish, something like that, when the dollar came off the gold standard, I can't remember if it's 1976 or 1979, but either way, when the dollar came off the gold standard, it took probably 150,000 U.S. dollars to buy a three bed, two bath house. At that time, it took 660 ounces of gold. Since then, now in 2021, average price of a 3-bed, 2-bath, we'll say is 300,000. So it doubled in U.S. dollar currency, but it now only takes 160 ounces of gold to buy that $300,000 house. So if you look at it kind of that way, like the dollar is buying less and gold has been going up, so your gold is buying more. So that's why you have to spend less gold. You have to spend more shitty dollars, but you only have to spend less gold. 1971. Thank you, Josie. Yeah, I mean, everybody wants them because they don't know any better. We are brainwashed to think that the U.S. currency has some type of value to it, and it really doesn't. It's not. There's a difference. Like I said, there's a difference. If people, nobody, like you say it like everybody wants U.S. dollars. Everybody who's sheep wants U.S. dollars. And you don't want, like, once again, let me explain this. I'm going to knock a hole right in your argument, One Life. If the U.S. dollar is a taxi, you do not want U.S. dollars because you want U.S. dollars. You want to get in the taxi to go to the place that you want to go. Nobody wants U.S. dollars. Nobody is wearing U.S. dollars. Nobody is driving U.S. dollars. You get the money and you go and buy food with it. You go and buy gas or whatever you got to buy. That is where the value is going. The U.S. currency, nobody wants the currency. They just have to transact in it because that's what the government said we have to do. And that is the first mistake, is you are trusting the government, who has continually lied to us, continually screwed us over for years, for decades. And like, it doesn't make any sense. If you don't trust the government, why would you trust the U.S. currency? Because the U.S. currency literally is only backed by the government's word. And their word is shit right now. So it's been shit for a long time. Well, that's the thing. I don't keep, gold has not been on a downtrend for 20 years. What charts are you looking at? So like right now, I don't even have any stocks, because besides the stocks I've got currently, the short-term stocks that I'm holding and trading, I don't have any other ones. I sold my whole portfolio because if the stock market crashes, or if the U.S. dollar crashes, let's say inflation continues to push the stock market up. If the U.S. dollar crashes, who cares if your stock is worth $1 million? You got to convert it back to that worthless dollar. And even if it says it's worth $1 million, if the dollar itself is only measuring 0% or zero of value, then it doesn't matter. Your stock is going to be worth zero, because you've got to transfer it back into cash to be able to do anything with it. So that's why I'm completely out of the stock market. I'm in gold, I'm in silver, I'm in platinum. Those things, I don't have to convert back to U.S. dollars. If the dollar collapses and there's a new currency or whatever, actually, I don't even need a new currency. With gold and silver, I can just go to a place, especially if the dollar's worthless. You go anywhere in the world besides like America, but you go to any third world country, South America, Africa, and they don't have to be third world, they can be second world and first world. You can take a gold necklace right off your neck and get stuff for it. If you have worthless U.S. dollars that are at zero, then they're not going to take that. They're going to take gold no matter what. They're going to take silver no matter what. And nowadays, they're going to probably take crypto no matter what. But the catalyst would be the money printing. The fact that the U.S. dollar is 30 trillion in debt. Well, the original catalyst would be they took the U.S. currency off of the gold standard. See, when the dollar had a purpose, it was no One Life. I don't want dollars. I only want what the dollars can get me. It doesn't, like, you're stopping at the middle of the process and saying, oh, but everybody wants dollars. That's the middle of the process. You don't want dollars. What are dollars going to do for you? Like I said, you got to buy food. You got to buy all the things you need. You want an Xbox, you go buy an Xbox. Whatever. You're not just sitting there keeping dollars. Well, if you are, then you're losing your money. That's why I hate savings accounts, because savings accounts don't even beat inflation. You sit there and leave it in there, the inflation goes down. But the catalyst, like I said, we're 30 trillion in debt. They took the dollar off the gold standard. When it was on the gold standard, that meant that every U.S. dollar was backed by a piece of gold. So when the standard got removed, now what is the U.S. dollar backed by? Nothing. Other than the government saying that it's worth something. That's it. See, see, dollars. It doesn't matter whether it's dollars. You can spend crypto the same as dollars. So it's not dollars that are doing anything for you. It's just they're moving value from one place to another. So I mean, like you said, they let you do a lot of things. Well, the dollars don't let you do a lot of things. You're moving your value from trading stocks into whatever a lot of things you want to do, your vacations and all that stuff. You you want the dollars only so you can spend them or invest them. That's it. Nobody wants dollars to just have dollars. Nobody does that who's rich. They don't even keep dollars. They stack gold, silver, they buy real estate, they stack land, they buy cash flow and properties. Like that's how little I care about the dollar. I will pay more money if it saves me time because it's more efficient, and time is our most valuable asset. I do not like wasting time. I also do not like taking up a lot of time doing things because there's so much stuff that you can do with your time. Because all you're doing to get your US dollars, you get your paycheck, what do? You clock in. You clock in. Why do you clock in? Because you're trading your time, which is the most valuable asset, because you can't get it back. There's no possible way to get your time back. Once it's gone, it's gone. So you're trading that time when you clock in. That's why your paycheck is measured in time for the US dollars that you're going to use to buy other stuff. So the dollar doesn't do anything. It's just a middleman. Like I said, it's just a taxi. And with more inflation, that means the taxi gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So you're going to be able to move less and less value across things. No, this is not modern monetary theory. Modern monetary theory is what has caused the US dollar to crash. What I'm talking about is Austrian economics. I am not a modern monetary theorist. Modern monetary theorist is the idea that you can inflate as much as you want and invest back into the country with money printed dollars, and it's not going to cause any effects. That's just nonsense. Like I do not like modern monetary theory at all. That is the root cause, because somebody at some point was like, hey, let's throw everything we know about the laws of supply and demand, and now the law of vibration, which is an interesting one. But let's throw everything we know about natural laws out the window because we're human beings, and you know what? We control things so we can make up whatever we want. So let's just say that we can print as much money as we want to. It completely ignores supply and demand, and it's detrimental, and it's why Zimbabwe, Germany, Venezuela all had currency crashes, and the US has been on that same path for 30 years, maybe longer than that. But we've been on the same path as those three countries. And if you actually think that America is too big for their currency to fall, that they get a special pass against the laws of supply and demand, then you probably want to go and research cycles and history. Alright. He's still going crazy. But yeah, hopefully that is a better explanation to understand kind of the difference between value and currency. Because once you understand that, what you're trading right now is you're putting your money into the stock, looking to sell it for a higher price later so you can get more of those value measurers, more of those US dollars, but not because you want US dollars, because you want to have a mansion or a Lambo, or you want to take care of your family or whatever. There's no, like, having a bunch of dollars around, like I said, if they go to zero, they're worthless. So it's not going to help you any. But everything is all based off of natural laws, like supply and demand, law of vibration, law of attraction. That's another one. But yeah, I just got my Coinbase debit card. I don't even have to have a regular bank account anymore. With my Coinbase debit card, I can spend any of my cryptos directly and earn Bitcoin and right now earn Bitcoin or Stellar Lumens back. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go buy gold and silver while they're down, if they're still down. I haven't checked today, with my Bitcoin debit card, and I'm going to buy gold and silver while getting crypto back. So I'm using the currency, the stupid garbage currency, to buy gold and silver while also earning rewards on that garbage currency of Bitcoin or Stellar Lumens. So I'm not saying that dollars are useless. Don't get me wrong. Dollars have their use, but it's understanding that it's not that everybody wants dollars. They want dollars for what they can be used for what they can buy. You found 3 Bitcoins yesterday in a parking lot next to your car? Well, if only that would happen. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, let's see if we can find another trade, because I can go on about all that all day in economics. I love it. I study it all the time. And it gives you a better understanding of the stock market. But that is something, value versus currency is something that will save you a lot of stuff. a lot of value and a lot of time. So you did run up to 22, so I got faked out on that one. A little fake out breakdown. Both are up today, Josie. Damn it. Silver was down to 23 yesterday, and I was getting ready to, well, I did bid on one little dime from 1950, uncirculated dime on eBay, and won that. But I was planning on buying more silver and gold today, because gold was at a decent little price too, and a little pullback. Let's see. But that video, like I said, is coming out. I talk about all this stuff. The video is the survival guide for a broken economy, which is what we are in. Oh yeah, silver's still at 23. Oh yeah. Not as low as it was. Dropped down to 22.26. I would have loved to got it there. And it did break down to the downside of this triangle. Trying to hold 23 support. I would like to get it. Yeah, this is wonderful. This is great. These gold and silver prices are pulling back. See, this is a perfect example. This is a false sense in the dollar. This is the dumbness. But the dollar is showing strength today. It's pushed up here, right? But like in reality, it's still not even close to the downtrend. So for whatever reason, maybe jobs or something, I don't know. People are a little bullish on the dollar today. And so gold and silver have had these big drops. But when you look back at gold and silver, yeah, it's a 20-year uptrend one life. Don't know where you got a 20-year downtrend, but that's the gold 20-year uptrend. But you continue to look back. Let's see if I can get to a max. Let's go to 1 month. Yeah, so 1983, when the dollar was, well, that's 1834. But anyway, you can see back then gold wasn't that much. But as soon as it came off the gold standard right there, 71, just like Josie said, the gold went pum and has been going up ever since. Same thing with silver, been going up ever since 1971. And then we go back to the dollar. And look at that. This is only going back to 1986 on this index. But you can see right after the dollar was taken off the gold standard, the value of gold and silver shot up. And the dollar value, what the dollar can buy, has been going straight down. So HPI, I'm probably just going to hold HPI for a little longer. Out of that 10 shares, that puts me at 1179 average on 20 shares. But it's just not doing much at the moment, just consolidating in this area. No, it was actually I had some stuff come up. I've been awake since 5:30 this morning. Why are you marking where I'm at, Daniel B? Why are you so concerned with what I'm making on trading? Why are you not concerned with what you're making? I'd be a lot more concerned about what I was making than worrying about somebody else. Now ORHP coming back up again. Oh, there's a class action lawsuit against ORPH. I'm not even touching that again. I didn't even realize that. This thing can go away. I want nothing to do with that. FULC still trying to push up. Yeah, XBIO coming back up. What was it we got hung up at? 440? Yeah, we're at lunchtime. It's lunchtime now, so it's kind of quiet. Man, I don't want to trade this, but it looks like it's going to try to push again. Could just get rejected at 540 though. I do not like anything really at the moment. It's about a SPAC merger there. So FULC looks like it wants to try to keep climbing. Needs a pullback though. I don't want to touch this until it pulls back. We haven't had a real pullback since down here at 12. I'd like to see a pullback around 18. See XPIO still. Ooh, big buyer just coming in. I'm going to jump in back in an XPIO here. Where'd I get filled at? 413. Because it's come back up. It bounced off that 40 DMA, pushed back up, holding above $4 again, and the 10 adaptive. So last time we got hung up, it was at 430. Did I trade this? Where's my trade orders at? It's not showing them. See, where's these bodies of these candles? Oh, I'm on the 15-minute chart. That's why. Let me flip back to the 5-minute. So we still have a bit of a downtrend. Like right there. But it needs to break. Yeah, it needs to break that 430 area. So we got a little bit of time on this candle. If this candle can push over 420 before it closes, that'd be a nice bullish sign. You know, there is a debate for the time of day to trade, but there's always money in the market. So you can trade at any time. It just may not be as fast and as rapid. So like most day traders do like to trade in the morning because that's when the most volatility is. You get a lot of crazy moves then. But that doesn't mean that you don't see rips during the afternoon. I mean, FULC, look at that. ORPH is coming back up. You know, and it's middle of lunchtime. If ORPH breaks 550 here, you know, it could make a 6. It could run up to 6, and that'd be a pretty nice move. I don't think there's a difference. I mean, if you're using technical analysis, there's not really a difference in. I don't even see a difference in trading cryptos versus stocks. The timing of the moves may be a little bit different, but still the price action, because it's all supply and demand, is going to be the same. You know, a chart is a chart. It doesn't matter what you're charting, as long as it's something that can be charted, that is being transacted in, then the patterns are all going to be the same. Because look at that breakout. It shouldn't even be running with that PR, but whatever. But see right here, like 12:08 p.m. Central, and we just got to push up on ORPH. So there's not really a bad time to be trading, to be honest. You can find quick rips or 10-cent rips or whatever all the time, and sometimes you get these big rips here. But as far as the price, I mean, the only differences you may have is like maybe Well, no, with price, that's not really an important thing. It's more about the volume and the amount of shares out there. So, like a $5 low float, say a $5 stock that has 1 million in float, can move the same exact way as a $100 stock that has 1 million in float. If a bunch of people come in and buy that thing and there's only 1 million shares out there, well, it's going to shoot up. So and then the opposite, if a bunch of people come in and short it and sell it, then it's going to shoot down. So the price really doesn't matter. There may be some like small nuance arguments to be made, but overall, I mean, I started trading crypto right off of my day trading knowledge of the stock market, applying the same pattern, same price action, everything, and I barely had any knowledge of cryptos yet. So it transfers right over. Cryptos may move a little bit slower as far as consolidation, but then they usually get very big pops and drops during high volatile times. So there's not really a difference. It's more just the difference would be between float, and even then, even if you have a high float, you can have something with 1 billion in float, but if a billion people decide to buy 100 shares of something that's 1 billion float, well, that can still shoot the price up like crazy. So it doesn't really matter. The reason I should be watching XBIO instead of that one, but the reason you hear people say the low float penny stocks, the $1 to $5 stocks, $1 to $10 stocks, they are a lot more volatile especially when they only have like 5 million in shares or 9 million in shares, because you got low supply and they're cheaper. So like that's the only thing where the price could make a difference, is if something is cheaper and it's low float, then that means people can afford to buy more of it. So it's just a quantity thing, really. Like if, most retail traders are not going to be buying 100 shares of a $100 stock. Most retail traders will buy 100 shares of a $5 stock. So they like to stay in that price range, because the more shares you get and the harder it runs, the more money you make. But the same type of moves can happen pretty much on anything if there's enough buying and not enough selling. But I hear that all the time. Oh, I don't want to trade the low float penny stocks, or I don't want to trade OTC stocks, and that's fine. Trade whatever you're comfortable with, but there's not really much of a difference. It's all about the buying and selling. If there's more buying, then the stock will go up. I know what I was getting to. There may be a little more volatility in these lower price stocks than maybe a higher price stock, but maybe not. We saw where we at Neuro the other day ran from 15 all the way to 38. So that's a higher price stock, but it's super low float and had tons of buying coming in. Still running. I knew it. I knew you were going to do this. You dirty little stock, you. Stopped me out there looking like you were going to turn red. Coming back up. No, HPI has dropped off some more. I'm going to hold it a little bit longer, but not much longer. Sam said sell 2 barks. I may have to sell XBIO, but it's trying to hold up above that $4 again. So even though it dipped, it came back up to hold it again. So as long as it holds $4, it'll be fine. I mean, it's even got room down to like 386 possibly. There's another random pop up there. Some revenue, some earnings. See BT bouncing off of that 10-day moving average on the daily. MDI still trying to climb up. That possibly could get going. XBI testing that 4 again. I only bought 10 shares. Well, that's actually better. Because now I can buy some more if it does crack 4 here if I want to stay in this. Yeah. I don't want to chase that. I missed the move on that. But if you guys have any more questions, suggestions, or ideas, go ahead and get those in. Because it is lunchtime. Actually, past lunchtime for me, and I'm getting hungry. YRPH still trying to push. Just trying to break a, let's see, indecision followed by this green candle possibly could lead to another pop. Yeah, see, Daniel B can be, he can provide value when he's not trolling. Taking BYSI off of. Yeah, I'm going to take it off my watch list. That looks pretty done. Yeah, RPH pushing up some more there. There's that pullback I was looking for on FLUC. Now if it can start building support, yeah, there's that. That's exactly where I was looking for it to drop to. Gotta see if I can hold up. BS Metals, the whole reason you're able to even talk in this live stream chat right now and I'm able to live stream is because of those BS Metals are used in the computer chips that we use and in your little iPhones. BS Metals. You're a silly boy, One Life. Don't give Daniel B that much credit, Lori. Don't go that far with the big brain thing. You know, he's got a bigger ego than me, so you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful what you feed him. You know, he's like a Venus flytrap. You put something in there. Well, ORPH is still running. Jesus, what a run back here. I didn't even notice this on the daily chart till just now. We ran from 555 to 77 in one day. Good Lord, what a rip. Could that do that again? Well, it's trying to push for 6. I mean, it's got room to that 7. Needs to, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me take these gas lines off for now. What is going on here? Huh. My adaptive is not on there. What is that about? That's weird. If it doesn't come back down like 530-ish, could be a possible play. HPI selling off some more. $12.50 needs to hold $12.50. You're turning into lobster mode? What does that even mean? I don't even want to know what that means. That sounds dirty. I don't know what Daniel B's talking about, but that sounds real dirty. Yeah, okay, that's starting to pull back. FLUC is coming back up to 20. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it a day for now. I'm going to just continue to hold AHPI for a little bit longer. Maybe not much longer if it can't hold up here. And then XBIO, I'm gonna let it do its thing for a few seconds. Needs to stay above 4. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for some more live stream day trading. Tomorrow we should be good for 8. If there's any reason that comes up, I will destroy everything to make sure I can be here at 8. But yeah, we're getting back on track. But yeah, appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.